A list of the jobs of a man and the angels of M.O.A.T. 36. In 6 groups: Clinamen, Tessera, Kenosis, Demonization, Ascesis, and Apophrades. Group Clinamen. 1. If you are a human man who is peaceful, your name is Invisibility. 2. If you are an angel woman who is lively, your name is Aura Tiferito. 3. If you are an angel woman who radiates, your name is Diana. 4. If you are an angel woman who gives gifts, your name is Pekhat. Group Tessera. 5. If you are an angel woman who finds it, then your name is Elaine. 6. If you are an angel woman who uses it, then your name is Kabbalah. 7. If you are an angel woman who translates, then your name is Jennifer. 8. If you are an angel woman who touches us, then your name is Bertha. 9. If you are an angel woman who lengthens it, then your name happens to be Thrickbit. 10. If you are an angel woman who connects, then your name is Libby. Group Kenosis. 11. If you are an angel man who loves, then your name is Robbie Pop. 12. If you are an angel woman who makes us feel at home, then your name is Donna. 13. If you are an angel woman who is hopeful, then your name, Marilyn. 14. If you are an angel woman who makes it childlike, then your name is Aura. 15. If you are an angel woman who makes it strange, then your name is Marion. Group Demonization. 16. If you are an angel man who points it out, then your name is Richard. 17. If you are an angel woman who makes us happy, then your name is Lisbeth. 18. If you are a human man who questions, your name is Silly Billy. 19. If you are an angel woman who delights us, then your name is Shnuna. 20. If you are an angel woman who makes riffs, then your name is Yaffa. 21. If you are an angel woman who likes much, then your name is Honey. 22. If you are an angel woman who buys things, then your name is Yitzhak Kavod. 23. If you are an angel woman who makes poetry, Amy is your name. 24. If you are an angel woman who is powerful, Teresa is your name. 25. If you are an angel woman who beautifies, then your name is Kathleen. Group Ascesis. 26. If you are a human man who lets others move on, then your name is Selfish Billy. 27. If you are an angel woman who cares for land, then your name, Penelope. 28. If you are an angel woman who hears us, then your name is Marba. 30. If you are an angel woman who is lovely, your name is Shay. 31. If you are an angel woman who honors us, then your name is Tov Tov Shalom. 32. If you are an angel woman who promotes charity, then your name is Valerie. Group Apophrades. 33. If you are an angel woman who centers, then your name is Rosalinda. 34. If you are an angel woman who makes it last, then your name happens to be Ariel. 35. If you are an angel woman who dominates, then your name is Kelly. 36. Finally, if you are an angel woman who thinks about tomorrow, then your name, Tob Shbeeb. This is M.O.A.T. 36, The Team. A Simple M.O.A.T. Q&A. By Billy McBride. A Simple M.O.A.T. Q&A, Part 1. 1. What does it house? Nothing, it is all I-beams in a sculpture on a landscape. 2. What is your stage? It is a public project. 3. What will move people to see it? It is awesome. 4. What is the sculptural wall made of? Just I-beams. 5. What are the tools used to build M.O.A.T? I-beams. Nuts and bolts. 6. What are the sides? The shapes wrap. 7. What does it neighbor? It is in the country. 8. What kind of steel is used? Polished stainless steel. 9. What citizens build it? We all can by our hands or our donations. 10. What place is it in? 164-acre spiral for each county in Texas. 11. What cities are the spirals near? Whatever cities are in a county is about 1 hour long and wide. 12. How far does it stretch? About the size of a golf course. 13 Does it have chambers? No. 14 Does it have pathways? They are natural paths. 15 Is it beautiful? Yes, very. 16 Is anyone welcome to visit? Yes, for a fee. 17 Is it earth-friendly? Yes, it is only steel. 18 What is its splendor? It reflects light, and it is huge. And simple. 19 How far does a shape measure? 50 feet. 20 How far does a spiral of 120 shapes measure? As a golf course. 21 Are these just dreams? No, it is kind of an emergency. To spend money to help. 22 Is this a fantasy? Yes, but one that helps others. This Q&A was inspired by Act 1 of Romeo and Juliet. A simple M.O.A.T. Q&A, Part 2. 1 What is the heart of M.O.A.T? Charity. 2 Is this center possible? Yes, it is a win-win situation. 3 Who is passionate about M.O.A.T? Builders, designers, and marketers. 4 Who does M.O.A.T satisfy? Everybody. 5 What is the love of M.O.A.T? An inclusive community. 6 Are M.O.A.T people subject to blindness? We all have our blind spots. 7 Can we laugh about M.O.A.T? No, well it is not exactly humorous. 8 Does M.O.A.T complement the context? Yes, it is natural. 9 How deep is M.O.A.T's vastness? It symbolizes an open and ever-widening place for the community. 10 Will M.O.A.T be fortunate to come? Probably so. 11 How does M.O.A.T marry with the community? Through global help. 12 Is M.O.A.T a happy project? Yes. 13 What lifespan does M.O.A.T have? It is a permanent structure. 14 Can one M.O.A.T be just as good? Yes, but 254 M.O.A.T.s are better. Why help just a little when you can help a lot? This Q&A was inspired by Act 2 of Romeo and Juliet. M.O.A.T Q&A, Part 3. 1 Why would one retire from helping? I don't know. 2 How are people genuinely moved to help? By trusting in their community. 3 Who will M.O.A.T quarrel with? It is a harmonious project. 4 What pleasure is there in M.O.A.T? It is abstract and constantly changing. 5 What is there to love about M.O.A.T? Art, nature, and charity. 6 What is sweet about M.O.A.T? It brings people together. 7 Is it only seen in the daytime? Yes. 8 Are others true to M.O.A.T? Possibly so. 9 Do you worship M.O.A.T? No, it is a secular and public project. 10 What is delightful about it? It looks nice. 11 Can it be built with fellowship? Yes. 12 Who will be sympathetic to M.O.A.T? Whoever likes win-win situations. 13 Can it cause happiness? Of course. 14 Why are you wedded to M.O.A.T? Because it is important. 15 Whose hearts will M.O.A.T move? The community and its individuals. 16 On what bed of land will it occupy? A field. This Q&A was inspired by Act 3 of Romeo and Juliet. M.O.A.T Q&A, Part 4. 1 What is dangerous about M.O.A.T? If well built, and solidly, nothing. 2 How will society react to M.O.A.T? They will get used to it. 3 What will people do in their leisure with M.O.A.T? Visit it. 4 Is it revolutionary? No. 5 Is the government involved? Globally, yes. Locally, no. 6 What are the strengths of M.O.A.T? It helps victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, rape, and rabies. 7 How will M.O.A.T prosper? It will gain momentum. 8 Who are M.O.A.T's opponents? Isolationists. 9 What are the greatest fears of M.O.A.T? That this generation cannot do it. 10 Will others feel at home with M.O.A.T? Of course. 11 Who watches out for M.O.A.T? The members of this non-profit organization. 12 Is M.O.A.T. a separate charity? No, but it distributes money to the 5 charities. This Q&A was inspired by Act 4 of Romeo and Juliet. The best way to avoid M.O.A.T. is just to give directly to help these charities. M.O.A.T. Q&A, Part 5. 1. Will M.O.A.T. be around years after we die? I like to think so. 2. What shadow hangs over M.O.A.T.? M.O.A.T. hasn't been built yet. 3. Why do so many monuments make up M.O.A.T.? Because it symbolizes a vast community. 4. You have angels, you say? Yes, but we are all a secular organization. 5. Why are the sculptures empty inside? To make their size large. 6. Does M.O.A.T. help the wretched? It can. 7. Is it a grave project? No, it is hopeful. 8. Does a M.O.A.T. sculpture resemble a tomb? No, it shines. 9. What does M.O.A.T. conquer? It helps, but it does not conquer anything. 10. What beauty does it have? The designs and proportions of its architectures. 11. Is it monstrous? It is big horizontally, but not vertically. 12. Does it engross the attention? Of course. 13. How do you guide around a M.O.A.T. park? There are several ways, but you can walk normally. 14. Why does M.O.A.T. architecture not have any vaulting roofs? It's extra money, and it looks better not to have them. 15. Whose woes does it help? Victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, rape, and rabies. 16. Is it outrageous? Yes. 17. Does it kill time to visit M.O.A.T.? Yes, it does, 1 hour. 18. What sorrows does M.O.A.T. have? It hopes to fight the cruelty of pain and humiliation of all. 19. What is sad about M.O.A.T.? That it is needed in the first place. This Q&A was inspired by the last act, Act 5 of Romeo and Juliet. Finesse. Those for M.O.A.T. 1. By Billy McBride. Copyright 2018, by William McBride. All rights reserved. These are 2 years' worth, 2016 to 2017, of ideas on M.O.A.T. Some seem random, but read together the outlines of the M.O.A.T. project become more defined until a total vision emerges. M.O.A.T. 2, Original Method. The vinyl crosshatch is green in this model. From our book, M.O.A.T. Outline, 2010. Effect of light and rings. For a wall of I-beams to be constructed, 12 I-beams are stacked on top of each other like a worm fence. This makes a perimeter wall of 6 I-beams high with 6 spaces in between them. The open-to-air, roofless design lets in light, and the light passes through the open slots between the I-beams. The shadows on the ground are striped when the sun is out. Walking through the passageways or around the monuments allows the viewer to experience an ultimate play of light and dark. Since the project of a M.O.A.T. spiral curves, many wonderful and various light effects will be experienced from each differing perspective. $8 million is the cost of the supplies to build the project called the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas, M.O.A.T. It is intended as a project which can, after being built, raise even more funds for charities each year which help the victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape. However, the charity side of M.O.A.T. works another way too, for sayings, which are the same to Jewish individuals as deeds. Words are deeds, and therefore memorable sayings are charities. For Jews, charity is the foundation of the world, see the Talmud, and the more great sayings the better for this one sort of charity. M.O.A.T. comes in now to work both ways, sometimes raising money post-construction, but more importantly it is a saying multiplier. Virginia Woolf said once that a simple song of Shakespeare's did more for the poor than all the philanthropy in the world. Using that formula, perhaps M.O.A.T. when built could have an impact in some way upon our language, like Shakespeare's songs, but different in other ways. $8 million can be collected over time to build it in the future for the coming generations to see M.O.A.T. and say things about it which come as a result of everything being in order, Hakol be Seder. Malak Shay with me. For many people going into the arts is an outlet for their genuine interests, and if we were really a society which believed in guiding anybody in their benign interests, we would find better ways to keep their opportunities alive. Everybody has their own set of interests, and with art, I hold the public responsible for giving the artist an extended life, and it is unfair to her or him who cannot actualize their good interests if their own community shuts them off. Malak Diana with me. Though I need about $8 million to build my dream sculpture, a full-scale M.O.A.T. spiral, I still have been thinking about seeing what a actual 3 long x 3 wide x 10 tall tower might be like, which I would have to build at my parents' home instead since my apartment ceiling is about 9 feet. I have figured out a way to stack the aluminum I-beams by using anti-slide pads and tie-downs, so bolts and screws in drilled holes or welding will not be needed. Also, today I worked on envisioning a plan where a group of musicians would give 8 concerts annually of Lisbeth 7, a 32-minute musical piece. The musicians may be rock, fusion, jazz, or orchestral, this may be decided one day. $10 a ticket, perhaps joined in a concert with other bands/orchestra. Music, might be a good price to be able to have 5,000 in attendance over the 3 days during one of the concert series of the 8 concerts. 4 different cities. In addition, I can imagine that once I polish and produce the score to different orchestral leaders who have some time to check it out, this might take over a year, there might be some interest internationally. I myself have created over 2,300 pieces of music, see my YouTube site. Billy McBride, and probably about 1,900 of them are longer than 20 minutes. All of the music is different, and I search for new melodies. Always, but out of all of the 2,300 plus compositions, the score which I call Lisbeth 7 is the one in which I have the most faith and desire. This is because everything worked out perfectly to make that song, and I love it. My taste in music is not bad. Malak honey with me. I have calculated the costs for another M.O.A.T. spiral built entirely of I-beams. And the cost is high. These are the estimates for just one of 120. Of the projects, 120 come to a set. Alas, the cost of all 120 is $6,600,000. Then I would need acres of land to build one of these spirals, and then the construction crew. I have always wanted one of these projects, but am reconsidering them as tourist attractions, and even projects which can help charities, though I am still interested in charities. One step I could make is just to attempt to make them as an artist, and see what happens. There would be lots of letters involved to find a way to get over $6.5 million. As art would it be worth it? My angels say it is. Now to order some nice stationery. I want to fundraise by handwritten letters to a list of sponsors, not over Patreon or other online places. So I will try and most likely fail, but I think it will be a good lesson of my will. Also, and I will be working alone, writing the simple letters, which will not expect much. Then if the money does not all get collected in a trust fund before I die, then I will stipulate that the money, if there is any, in the trust fund go to worthy charities. But, as an artist, I want this vision to be tried. Malak Jennifer with me. M.O.A.T. 2. There are a group of angels and myself, just a human, who make up M.O.A.T. 36, but the organization is secular. Friedrich Nietzsche, I think, did not believe in angels since he famously said God is dead. Nietzsche affirmed life in a way that he would live it all over again the same way if he had to. There is a poem with life and death in it by George Meredith, I think, which is an interesting poem. Life becomes death for us, but they are separate for Meredith. Life with more life is a biblical blessing of God. Even atheists like Nietzsche prefer life over death. God to others such as Soren Kierkegaard makes all even. He was pretty much alone as he could get existentially. Who was Kierkegaard? Who is anybody, is kind of a Tolstoyan question. The answer to who is who I think will never be figured out, and my intellectual hero, Richard Rorty, says it is a bad question. Richard Rorty is the answer to those who wish for confidence, like myself, to stop asking bad questions. Yet, Rorty also said there is no end to inquiry. That no stands alone by itself, it is a lonely no. Yet Wallace Stevens and others like to always include yes with nos. Saying no sometimes is saying no to another person. But angels say no to people only when their interests may get in the way of others and do harm. Angels will be angels, and my own, and I have M.O.A.T as our good project. I just am a participant, more along the sidelines watching how they are forming the project. The way I help is to channel them actively to form ideas about a material construction, and how it can help charities. Lastly, we want to act upon these ideas from start to finish in an epistolary way, by which I mean to use the writing of letters to get the M.O.A.T project off the ground. M.O.A.T is needed because horrors like schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape still exist in our world. May lack Penelope with me. M.O.A.T. 1. Our project is the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas. There is peacefulness to this project. Peace itself means that things are at rest and not working towards any other goal. A self has ideas. The self can be possessed by helpers, angels. Possession is, in this sense, a sort of selflessness. This sort of possession has not much order to start with, though it can create one of its own. The order cannot do anything without some self to be there at its origin. However, because many selves can possess one self, there can be indeed extra help with the organizing of a project. Therefore the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas has been created. May lack Teresa with me. From my M.O.A.T monument collection, a pair of monuments, 3, 4. The spiral of 120 monuments, 3. This shape is the most aloof and the silliest. Sure, a desire for money is behind every business, but behind that, especially if the business seeks to be a charity, it is inclusive love which becomes the reason for its existence. I cannot prove love, unless perhaps if the charity has practical benefit and can get real results. Whether with raising needed money for charities which make people better or by inspiring hope. I have my own limitations, so by making charity a concern, there is probably more chance I can only inspire a little hope than to make money, but I would like to do both, and I am not ready to throw in any towel just yet. Since there is a way which can be actualized by putting the imagination to work, I think that there may also be a chance to use the M.O.A.T project as a means for something. Yet, I am torn because I do not like grandiose thinking, and it is not, but to some it may seem. M.O.A.T cannot be, though it is grandiose thinking because it is closer to applied mathematics than fundamentalism of one sort or another. By working on M.O.A.T, I neither try to exclude anybody, nor humiliate them, nor underestimate them. I think others have in the business field to acknowledge that businesses must generate consumer trust based off of the experience of the business's histories. M.O.A.T therefore has a long road ahead of it to become popular, as does any business or business non-profit. My wish is that some will one day take it seriously enough to give it importance. May lack Ariel with me. Like baseball cards, pre-M.O.A.T cards for the first year and on of M.O.A.T. Maybe there is a way to sell pre-M.O.A.T cards, before it is ever built, to raise money for the outrageous structures and the charities following the building. If so, to get $10 million a year, we would need a card-making and packaging factory, which can handle making 200,000 boxes of pre-M.O.A.T cards a year. We would sell the boxes to retailers and double our profit per box. In the box would be baseball like pre-M.O.A.T, or later M.O.A.T cards with 10 collectible trading cards per packet, 100 packets per box, and each card packet would sell for $2. M.O.A.T is a secular, non-profit to be organization, which is not political but which would do things to raise money for the charities which help the victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape. I think this kind of trading card project would work the best so far. On the trading cards could be details of the M.O.A.T project in all its colorful aspects to learn, the design, the work charts, the places for M.O.A.T, the people, the landscapes, the architectural models. These cards can be illustrated or not, and each year can change depending on the progress of the non-profit charitable organization. M.O.A.T Penelope with me. M.O.A.T as we conceive it is active and good and helps. It is an ongoing good drama for many who will support it, I hope, when and if it ever gets off the ground. M.O.A.T honey with me. This is music, but I wanted the I love you just the way you are sign. For what I also want to say about M.O.A.T. Say that instead of M.O.A.T structures being built for 10 million, a process I explained in my last post, if billboards with this slogan could be erected in place of using the funds to build the 10 spirals of light, the interest on the 10 million could give us enough to create 50 of these billboards for different American cities as another optional way to create consumer trust in M.O.A.T's coat branch, which sells the bookmarks, making 10 million in sales from our followers a year indefinitely. M.O.A.T Ora Tifarito with me. M.O.A.T then coat organizations. Alright, staying away a little from my M.O.A.T project has given me some time to work out some things which may make it more successful. Originally, the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas was intended to build what I call a spiral of light in every county, 254 in some of Texas. Each one of these 120 monument steel I-beam structures would cost about $1 million to construct and have on some land. Other than being public art and tourist attractions, the monuments are intended to build a reputation for M.O.A.T to next have consumer confidence in buying coat products, which for now are different kinds of bookmarks. Once M.O.A.T is built, and not all of it but just the right number of spirals of light to establish a good reputation for being an authentic charity and organization, then after it is built, the coat organization is to sell bookmarks which can be sent in the mail daily as partial postcards to our faithful followers who collect them daily. The bookmarks should be in cost around 0.30 cents, and daily we want to sell 1,000 people in each of 100 cities, or 100 people in each of 1,000 cities. These artifacts. This would give us in sales over $10 million each year to raise for charities. But, first, I think we must build M.O.A.T in order to establish that needed reputation to have followers. Therefore, I am thinking that as an investment, if each spiral of light costs $1 million to build, we might start by building 10 of these projects in 10 large fields in Texas to start. To do this would cost of course $10 million, which could be raised 1 year, and the partial sales from the bookmarks could pay it off over 4 years or so. M.O.A.T Jennifer with me. Though I know what my angels look like, I see how in the faces everybody I meet, how each one's face looks a little like one of these very special angels I know. 30 angel wives, 2 angel parents, and 1 angel brother and my human self. I have 3 nicknames in M.O.A.T. 36, while other angels still go about. M.O.A.T grouchy with me. I like to think that when everybody around is sad, including the CEOs to whom a group might be making demands, that this feeling of sadness arises from the impressions which Angel Ora Tifarito gives us about the bad weather we have. One possible remedy for these feelings is to know that, at least in my case, that angels have allowed me to go on several Merkaba experiences, visits to heaven. I went to different heavens and experienced them from a while, something which leads me to understand better the afterlives, all heavens too, which we all of us go, even Donald Trump and Rush Limbaugh, some here, some there, but all are heavens which are a matter for ultimate celebration. I hope I can, when I think everyone is sad, remember that from our bad weathers here on earth, that there is a cause to celebrate, and not be sad in the future for all. M.O.A.T Jennifer with me. When a CEO feels mad and isolated, a feeling in them which you can imagine to be the cause of Honey's style of provocation by causing doubt in that CEO, you might understand that aspect of angels which they have, which is playful and sometimes seems to be against reason. Yet, their nonsense can be visionary imagination, wild and good, but never cruel. When Honey causes doubt in a CEO, resulting in them feeling mad and isolated, let that CEO learn patiently that angels do enjoy having good clean fun and will at their discretion. M.O.A.T Jennifer with me. When presenting a proposal to a CEO and you know that your group does not give up, it is Angel Rosalinda, you can imagine who provoked your idea to bug a CEO non-stop until something gets done. Rosalinda, my spiritual mother, an angel, talks to me 24/7 as well as the other angels. When I write things, or read them, there is no angel break, for we all discuss every move I make every day, from morning on through the night time. I love my spiritual mom, Rosalinda, she rocks. Thus, when you know what to do and never give up, feeling that way after bugging a CEO constantly, then remembering that angel talk can be ongoing all day long helps to center your group's purpose and reason for existing. M.O.A.T Donna with me. When there is a feeling of renunciation with a project you have been working on, this stems, when it happens to me, from the way I notice how Angel Marba, she represents talkativeness in our M.O.A.T retinue, bugs, or provokes a CEO by presenting herself or with other angels to that CEO in some manner or another. Angels give me comfort with my own pains and humiliations, with which I cope with every day. I hope the CEOs whom the angels bug realize that the reason people renounce their former projects is because angels come to them too, and angels do help with everyday management of pains and humiliations of people, like me, who need to cope better with life's cruelties. M.O.A.T Elaine with me. I imagine M.O.A.T Technological Pleasure Palace to be a non-sexual tourist attraction for people of every age, and one thing is that those who visit it have unconditional love for the rest. M.O.A.T Diana with me. I am a little disappointed in what I found in my research. I would like to begin a non-profit charity, yet I feel everything but the marketing would go smoothly. I had estimated that I could sell bookmarks or little inexpensive things, but the market does not demand the amount I want to sell. Therefore, until it does, I think I may have to scrap the idea, or try another but without risking my time. Angel Thrickbot with me. If Angel Libby, who represents freedom for us, were to provoke in a CEO a sense of waiting, making the CEO wait for a long time impatiently, then a feeling of change and contingency will be produced in the CEO's own mind. The cure for the feeling of change, a change which must be coped with well, is to learn that angels themselves can be talked to in the smooth pulses of one's own body. The smooth and comfortable pulses can be translated syllable by syllable to form sentences, which is how angels communicate. They will tell the one who attends them if the translation is incorrect in the mind. Let CEOs know as they cure their impatience for waiting too long that angels talk in smooth pulses. M.O.A.T Amy with me. If an angel, usually Kathleen, who represents devotion, wants to bug a CEO, then she might do so by using money in some way or creating a feeling within about money. This leads to the concept in time of a eureka, that the CEO has been going in the wrong way for a while in her or his actions or thoughts. Angels express themselves eloquently and have good manners in conversation. The CEO's Eureka may have to be balanced by a similar understanding of eloquence, and I hope that after the CEO discovers that she or he had been going the wrong way, that CEO can know about their feelings better which were had about money, and the money problem can be lifted, perhaps by using it to help the poor more often. Malak Elaine with me. One way angels can bug or provoke is to give the person they bug a sense that they are in exile. A strong sense of personality is the result of this feeling of banishment, which comes from good angel Penelope. The cure for the strong sense of personality as I know it is to consider the interpretations of dreams. Angels can come in my dreams at time. Then when I wake, we discuss them and what was going on. When Penelope bugs in this way, I just remember that there are some real things to dreams which can be elaborated upon by interpretation. Malak Kabbalah with me. Angel Amy, who represents friendliness in our M.O.A.T 36 group, says that the best remedy for feeling weary is to be with old friends or work on making new friends. She bugs, provokes, by making me feel as if there is extra work to be done, but leisure time with friends, old or new, is what she intends in her guidance. I hope that I can find the opportunity to remember this as I get weary from time to time. Malak Kabbalah with me. Some bookmarks I would like to make tonight. A bookmark of a celeste, an instrument like a piano. A bookmark of some candles. A bookmark of a root beer float. A bookmark of a poinsettia flower. A bookmark of the sea. A bookmark of Claude Debussy. A bookmark of a harp. A bookmark of a tiger. A bookmark of a nice window looking outside. A bookmark of a lady with wild hair. Malak Thrickbut with me. One way to make over $1 million for charity annually. Tonight I have been working on the Project Coat, which goes with Project M.O.A.T. Coat is a business that sells something like bookmarks, stickers, or bumper stickers, but in a special way, more on that way some other time. The angel Teresa bugs, provokes, in me a more intense sense of divine communication, and this has led me to work on the Coat subsidiary non-profit for a charity. I translate angels in the normal way, through counting the syllables in the pulses in my body, adding up to words, and telling me if I translate right or not. These angels and I talk this way normally. The communication is the miracle. Secular Coat is a business that sells inexpensive things like stickers, bookmarks, or bumper stickers, and it would be set up online where at the cost of 3 cents per sticker, I would sell stickers at 10 cents. I estimate in San Antonio alone I could sell 1,000 stickers a day. Multiply that number by 100 more cities and I would make $7,000 a day profit. Selling 10,000 stickers daily. Non-profits get a break on postage fees. 365 days are in the year, and if I keep up this pace the charity could make $2,555,000 per year for the 4 charities of Coat, which are those which help the victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape. M.O.A.T, the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas, is also part of the project, but more too on that later. Total, $2,555,000 for these charities. Wish me luck, one day this might work. I hope that I can remember, when I work on Coat, to think of how I was inspired by these more intense communications from my angels, and see as a remedy to my work a better understanding of the miracle of just how communication impulses through my body in actuality is made possible. My angels say that the way we communicate is made possible through love. Malak Kelly with me. I think it important not to have all of my eggs in one basket. When I need a boost of energy, I reconsider both M.O.A.T projects. The Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas, and its goodies, and the M.O.A.T Technological Pleasure Palace, non-sexual because this tourist attraction is for all ages. They are both very different enough so as to give me the opportunity for working on their differences. M.O.A.T can be improved in a written way by applying the process of a public relations flowchart to live sponsorship and proposal. By learning how the would-be sponsors develop and change moods, the flowchart is set up comprehensively for 60 different plans, individually customized but also non-reducible for a social M.O.A.T marketing and progress. I have not worked on a M.O.A.T TPP flowchart but may someday soon. Malak Kabbalah with me. Angel Aura Tifarito provokes my awareness of the weather being bad at times, and as a result I become in need of a burst of energy. She is my angel who represents the light within, and in this way guides me to consider in my imagination what a pleasure palace might be like, as well as the normal M.O.A.T 36 group and project. I hope for a better understanding of the link of when I feel the weather is bad, with that of the two M.O.A.T projects. The Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas is pronounced the Monumental Outrageousness Around the Lands, though it is spelt the other way on top. As an organization which would raise money for the victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape, the word Texas in it is spelled Texas but pronounced the lands because that is what the M.O.A.T anti-Mammonites do. Only Texas is pronounced Texas by Mammonites, saith these angels. Malak Thrickbut with me. How to bug CEOs, bosses. I have added characters from the Bible, the Torah, matching them up with Shakespeare's to demonstrate the kind of bugging procedure. More on this later. Also, some of my own books parallel these characters. They can be read online at scribd.com. The angels I know say that it is alright to bug or annoy CEOs. There are a few rules. CEO bugging must be fair and not cruel. Bugging can only be done in the spirit of good clean fun. Here is a list of 36 ways angels are allowed to bug or annoy CEOs. It corresponds to the spiritual golf game they play, M.O.A.T 36 against bosses, aka CEOs. 1. Angels are allowed to disrupt the solitude of the CEO. Equals Macduff and Lennox knocking at the porter's gate. The Sons of Noah with Noah. My book, for those who do trust God, and other stories. 2. They are allowed to make the CEO feel like he or she will soon be interrupted. Equals Macbeth anxiously waiting for war. The Angels to Lot. In Sodom and Gomorrah. My book, they are human too. 3. Angels can bug a CEO by making him or her feel that there is no end to the angel bugging. Hamlet bothering Ophelia. Hashem and his 9 plagues on Egypt. My book, brainwashing. 4. Angels are allowed to bug a CEO in divine communication. Whatever that may be. Banquo's ghost to Macbeth, Caesar's ghost to Brutus. God to Moses. My book, Chest. 5. Angels can use music to bug a CEO. Balthasar to Benedict. My book, President's Day and Beyond. 6. Angels are allowed to bug a CEO by making him or her wait. Lady Macbeth for Macbeth when he murders King Duncan. Laban to Jacob. My book, The Trouble with Being a B'nai Vova. 7. Angels can make a CEO talk to people when he or she doesn't want to. Timon's acquaintances to Timon. God with Moses to the Israelites. My book, Ariel on Kipling Street. 8. Angels can use neighbors in the neighborhood to bug a CEO. Borachio to Claudio. Passover, God to the Israelites. My book, The Band, a play. 9. Angels can make a CEO feel late or a sense of lateness to bug him or her. The Dawn to Romeo and Juliet. Jacob getting Esau's birthright. My book, The Very Best Childhood. 10. Angels can use machines to bug a CEO boss, the sounds of a machine, etc. Ariel to the shipman. God's pillar of fire to the Egyptian charioteers. My book, Flashcards. 11. Angels are allowed to create a sense of mystery of the unexplained. To bother a CEO boss. Prospero to Miranda. God changing the language of the tower-building Babylonians. My book, The Hydromancy of Jenny McBride, Part 1 and 2. 12. Angels are allowed to move things around to bug a boss. Hal to Falstaff, taking his grandfather's ring. Rebecca moving the idol from the site of Laban. My book, Stay Friends, a play. 13 angels are allowed to create wildness to bug a CEO. Puck to the lovers in the forest. God with a wilderness for the Israelites. My book. It's not a prostitution ring. 14 angels are allowed to get into the dreams of CEOs to bother them. A ghosts in Clarence's dreams. The Pharaoh's dream. My book. Temporary parody. 15 angels can create some fair bad weathers to mess with bosses. The storm to King Lear. God's flood and Noah. My book. Headbutt Resiah 3, Voyage to Metal Settle. 16 angels in heaven are allowed to insult CEOs to bug them. Kent to Oswald. Sarah to Hagar. My book, Headbutt Resiah, a fantasy. 17 angels are allowed to bug CEOs by presenting themselves to the bosses in whatever way necessary it takes to bug them, like by using super technology etc. Angels to Macbeth in his ear after he kills Duncan, sleep no more. Macbeth doth murther sleep. God's 9 plagues. To Egypt. My book, Headbutt Resiah, a play. 18 angels are allowed to bother and bug a CEO by asking him or her 4 things. Cleopatra to her Messager. Moses to the cruel Pharaoh. My book, M.O.A.T. outline. 19 angels can spoil outcomes and knowledge for CEOs. Iago to Othello. God to Abraham that Sarah will conceive. My book, M.O.A.T. Fundraising. 20 angels are allowed to keep telling the CEOs that they love them. And will never stop loving them. Hermia to Demetrius. Jacob to blind. Isaac pretending to be Esau. My book, Voyage to Super University. 21 angels are allowed to bug bosses by influence. Hal to Falstaff. When role-playing. Moses to the builders of the golden calf. My book. Our emotions are the thoughts of Shakespeare's. 22 angels can bug using art. Ariel's feast to Trinculo, Stefano, and Caliban. The builders of the golden calf to Moses. My book, Art and Anxiety. 23 angels can bug CEOs into exile. Duke Frederick to Duke Sr. God to Adam and Eve from Eden. My book, Punishment. 24 angels can bug CEOs by making the CEOs feel misunderstood. Leonardo to Dogberry. Esau to Isaac after losing his blessing. My book. Prostitutes. 25 angels can bug CEOs by reasonably manipulating money to do so. King Henry V to Falstaff. The riches put into Joseph's brother's pack by Joseph. My book, How to Win the Lotto. 26 angels can bug CEOs in a Mephistophelian way for fun. Ghost. Of Hamlet to Hamlet. The snake to Eve. My book, That Is Your Wife. 27 angels can bug CEOs by flattering them. Iago to Desdemona. Abraham with beautiful Sarah, saying she had to pretend to be his sister because she was too beautiful to go around in Egypt otherwise. My book, Our Growing Listening. 28 angels can bother CEOs by making them feel very strange. Ghost. Of Hamlet's father to Horatio. God to Cain. My book, Schizophrenia. And Angels. 29 angels can bug CEOs with bad landscaping and whatever that may mean. The army opposing Macbeth with their branches. God's wilderness to the Israelites. My book, 60 different land projects. 30 angels can bug CEOs with words and wordplay. Touchstone to William. God's scattering of tongues of the Babylonians. My book. How to Lose a Chess Game. 31 angels can bug CEOs by making them pay close attention to details. Ursula to Benedict. The Rules of Moses to the Israelites. My book, M.O.A.T. Marketing. 32 angels can bug CEOs by overexciting them. Cleopatra to Antony. God to Sarah. My book, Influence and Jealousy. 33 angels can bug bosses by making them doubt. Iago to Othello. The Wilderness to the Israelites. My book, Spiritual Parents. 34 Angels can bug CEOs by using bad colors and lighting around places. Gonzalo to Antonio. The Wilderness to the Israelites. My book. Ulysses in Hell, A Theory of Colors. 35 Angels can bug CEOs with animals, fairly speaking, noises etc. Crab the dog to Lance. Baalam's ass to Baalam. My book. Headbutt Rasiah 2. 36 Angels can bug CEOs by creating work for them that wasn't there before. Prospero to Caliban. The Anonymous Wrestling Angel to Jacob. My book, What I Do. These are the ways which angels are allowed to bug CEOs in order that CEOs help charities out. Grouchy with Billy McBride. 2 ideas. 1 A puzzle and game. A webcam is placed on a purchased acre in a small town in Texas. Prizes are awarded each day to the citizen who stands on the land closest to the unknown mark of the day when the webcam takes a picture at random during the daylight time. iPhones can be registered to use the GPS to tell also the location of who wins that day the prize. 2 A scaled down version of M.O.A.T. 1/3 of a M.O.A.T. monument on a purchased acre, still made of I-beams but only 3 feet high instead of 9 or 10 feet high, and instead of the mile as a circumference, the acre for the spiral. Both projects I am also considering as submissions for He Roddenberry Prize since a participant can make multiple submissions. Idea 1 will be paid using the interest in the bank of a $400,000 prize for every year. Every day a new random prize of either $1, $5, $10, $1,000 will be given to the one who stands closest to the spot when the webcam takes its daily picture. Also, the video can be streamed all day, so the public can watch the people on land trying to win. Idea 2, I had originally wanted to design a robot to build and unbuild the M.O.A.T. spiral all day in an arena to show what robots can do, but the floors of most arenas are too small for a 1/3 M.O.A.T. spiral to my disappointment. It would cost $360,000 in I-beams and $40,000 for the robot and additional costs. Working outside might be fine if I could find a way that the public not take any of the I-beams off the grounds. Angel Yaffa with me. The forbidden and the permissible on the grounds of a M.O.A.T. project. First the forbidden, 17 rules. 1 There shall be no T-shapes formed. 2 There shall be no cushions on site. 3 There shall not be any images or logos. 4 There shall not be any circular holes seen. 5 There shall not be any little yod s, the Hebrew letter seen. 6 There shall not be any spherical or globular shapes. 7 There shall not be seen any cords or cables. 8 There shall not be any books on site. 9 There shall not be any dominant vertical lines. 10 There shall be no fabric, cloth, or drapery as part of the project or on its grounds as the project. 11 There shall be no containers or cup-like containers on site as part of the project. 12 There shall be no Lie shapes. 13 There shall be no LZ shapes. 14 There shall be no words on site. 15 There shall be no shapes in the shape of a V or an upside down V. 16 There shall not be any non-machine tools on site. 17 There shall not be any LED lights or small lights on the grounds. Now for the permissible rules, 13 rules. 1 Flat objects are allowed. 2 Floors are allowed. 3 Things that are blocked out of view are permissible. 4 Shadows are allowed. 5 White light is allowed. 6 Small objects, like leaves for instance, are allowed on site. 7 A machine, a single crane is to be left behind empty on the grounds. 8 Rectangular openings are permissible. 9 Nature is allowed. 10 The I-beam walls are allowed. 11 Repetition of the horizontal and allowed. 12 Horizontal lines are allowed. 13 Negative space in the shape of an M is allowed. Angel Marion with me. A little sketch for M.O.A.T. for the Roddenberry Prize. This project is a secular project of a geometrical construction with a strong storytelling component. It's called M.O.A.T. Rules. 1 Crane must be left behind on the grounds of the site, the area within a circular mile, and it must be empty and level with one of the monuments next to it. There must be no ponds, either square or circular, within the area. There must be a snake barrier to keep snakes out around the circumference of the circular mile. There must not be any flowers within the area of the circular mile. There must not be any flags or banners with human faces on them or any other image. There must never be any vegetables within that circular area. Neither must there be any gardens to show, lease, or see there. The builders must stop building after the 6th layer of I-beams are laid, and not lay the 7th. The builders must stop after building 120 of these 140 I-beam cabin monuments, thus the whole project will remain unfinished. The geometrical spiral construction must use only 3-foot-long I-beams. There must be an inner and outer track for joggers going in different directions around the circumference of the project after it is done. Any money made off of it must go to charity. There must be no booths for vendors or for Start UPS. There must be no vending machines which collect dollars for charity on site. If a builder drops an I-beam, it must remain left on the ground permanently. Builders must only work in buddy teams of 4. When building, if there is work noise, every worker on site must be making some noise or another. Finally, Z code words with the letter Z in them must be used by the builders when building on site to give commands and do general work. Therefore, a Z language must be invented and the workers trained in it before coming on site. M.O.A.T. in conclusion is an easy-to-build, environmentally friendly public tourist attraction. Angel Honey with me. The interest on having $1 million in the bank per year would give you $40,000 at 4%. If M.O.A.T. can do better as $1 million, at least, investment per year for charity, would not it be worth it? Angel Diana with me. With $1 billion in the bank, a new M.O.A.T. spiral could be built. Each year with the interest, $400,000. And, if M.O.A.T. projects can make $100,000 a year by tourism, then in 4 years they can start to be self-sustaining with more than 4 spiral attractions. After 4 years, the $1 billion investment can be taken out of the bank and divided up for charitable organizations. And, this is in addition to the money M.O.A.T. attractions can make for charity. Abstractions, these designs. An open wrapped-up wall of stripes. Of worming fence designs. They have no inner walls at all. Each single flooring plan is all orthogonal of lines. And either of one shape's design, or of its mirror is the plan, is open to the sky. All these orthogonal zigzags create varieties of shapes. Parameters have right angles. An average 18 turns. The numbers are, 4 stripes, 6. 120 inches high. 120 monuments. Within a spiral form. 360 cabin pairs to build. And 50 lengthwise marked feet to separate between each shape. And 50 lengthwise numbered feet. Their longest length maxed out. And openings for each are found. For these abstractions, these designs. Angel Thrickbut with me, our gratitude. M.O.A.T. spirals, as in this design seen from a bird's eye point of view, are not just made for the sake of mere money making, but the attractions also function as a way to raise local and national awareness for victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape, as well as to provide a community with a beautiful, unique, and good place to visit, inspiring hope and public spirit. Angel Grouchy with me. A prelude to M.O.A.T. First and foremost, the M.O.A.T. nonprofit organization is created to be a secular organization whose ultimate and long-term purpose is to be a help to those victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape and provide additional support for them to live better lives with more comfort. The way the organization intends to help is by building tourist attractions which will generate ongoing funds which in turn will be given monthly to 4 major charities that provide care to the victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape. These tourist attractions in Texas would be built entirely out of Aluminum I-beams as 120 monumental cabins scattered in a spiral shape upon the land of differing counties and whose area is within the circumference of a circular mile, which would also have an exercise path. However, because of the special rules by which M.O.A.T. projects are to be constructed, there is an imaginative storytelling element involved. And because they are non-political and secular attractions, regardless of who gets credit for their success, they will be fair and unifying. Note, this is for M.O.A.T., and not M.O.A.T. TPP, for which I am writing here. Angel Honey with Me. Round 2, Rule 5. The appearance of A.M.O.A.T. technological pleasure palace is not important on the outside. It can look as nice or as plain as any other building. Angel Donna with Me. Round 2, Rule 4. The only way for a guest to be admitted into the M.O.A.T. Technological Pleasure Palace is if somebody else pays for the visitor. That sponsor of the visitor is someone who is not going at that time to be admitted. Angel Honey with Me. Round 2, Rule 3. All pleasures resulting from the activation of super technologies in a M.O.A.T. Technological Pleasure Palace must be externally sensed, meaning they must not be swallowed or be internal physical pleasure provokers. Angel Jennifer with Me. Restaurants and bars can only be located off the grounds. Water drinking is alright to do on property. Round 2, Rule 2. M.O.A.T. Technological Pleasure Palace is designed to compete with the pleasures which nature provides, therefore as a second rule, whatever pleasures which the advanced technologies produce upon the public visiting a M.O.A.T. palace, they must be measured and only be stronger pleasures than nature's own. No pleasures that are lesser or equal to nature's own will be produced by any of the technologies in the M.O.A.T. palace, only the stronger than nature's pleasures. Angel Thrickbot with Me. Alright, this post is the start of round 2 for my rules for the project. But instead of being rules for M.O.A.T., the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas, these round 2 rules are for M.O.A.T. TPP, or M.O.A.T. Technological Pleasure Palace. Here it goes. 1 Rule 1. Any new design that applies advanced technology for creating pleasure in a M.O.A.T. palace for the public must be only non-sexual designs that affect our senses of smell, taste, touch, sight, and hearing. When designed for the grounds of a M.O.A.T. palace must not in any way stimulate or satisfy sexual urges, since this is a pleasure palace for people of all ages. Angel Honey with Me. Temples destroyed are similar to those ones never actually built. There is violence in not caring to, of not taking a chance to see what would happen if things were to change for the better. A good idea that never is actualized is the same as a good idea destroyed. And yet children learn by tearing things apart, Goethe said in his autobiography, Poetry and Truth. He said that they should not be punished when they learn, because it is only natural for them to tear apart things for that sake at their age. I blame illiteracy for our lack of courage to try out new experiments, because without the experience in reading, how can we ever understand the connections between important good historical ideas and deeds? Angel Ariel with Me. 10 Rule 10. During the building of the total 254 monument sets, spirals, of the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas, non-profit organization, after exactly half of the sets are built, 127, the constructors must wait 3 years before beginning the other half, 127, for the remaining counties in Texas to be completed. Angel Kabbalah with Me. 9 Rule 9. Around the circular perimeter, a mile circumference, of the grounds where a M.O.A.T. monument set, spiral, is erected, there will be 2 paths, one inner and one outer, divided by a 2-foot meridian, for people to walk or run on for exercise and other use. The inner path shall be used for tourists walking or running in a clockwise direction, and the outer path for those going counterclockwise. Angel Honey with Me. 8 Rule 8. The area of the site is within 1 circular mile, a mile perimeter on the circumference of the circle. And inside that circle. When the noises of construction are loud and by the cranes and workers, every worker is to be making noise. No worker is to remain silent when the other workers are making a din. Angel Penelope with me. 7 Rule 7. It is important that builders on the grounds of the site must only be seen in groups of 4. Multiple groups of 4 buddies can work together, but a 4-person team must stay building together. On the site there must only be seen these 4-part teams working. No one is to wander about on site as a single person, nor in 2s nor 3s, nor 5s, nor 6s, and so on, only in 4s, 8s and 16s. And so on are all right to have working together because they are multiples of 4. Angel Honey with me. 6 Rule 6. The designs for all 254 variations of sets of monuments have been already completed. When building, no new design for M.O.A.T. shall be made other than the ones already created. Angel Jennifer with me. 5 Rule 5. It is important that no I-beam be dropped on the site when the monument set is being constructed. If one is dropped, it must stay there on the ground where it is at, and no one is to move it ever. Angel Honey with me. 4 Rule 4. After building a set of monuments in any county, one lone crane must be left behind on the site, resting still beside one of the monuments. It must be left unoccupied and the vehicle must be positioned no taller than 10 feet tall, which is the very height of every monument of the set of 120. Angel Honey with me. 3 Rule 3. 254 sets, the spiral, of monuments are designed for every county in Texas, but it must be planned that if and when the set is erected, that laying the foundation of any single set must not happen in other counties at the same time. Only one set is to be worked on at a time and only by crossing into the next county beside it, shall the setting down of another set of monuments begin. A new set is only to be built after that crossing into another county after a new set is freshly constructed. Angel Grouchy with me. 2 A set of monuments is designed to make a spiral with 140 monuments, but only the builders as a second rule must stop building after the 120th is erected. Angel Thrickbot with me. 1 A M.O.A.T. monument set is designed to be 7 I-beams tall, but as a first rule the builders must stop at the 6th I-beam and forego adding the final 7th top layer to the monument. The top is thus an open door, welcoming, and sky exposed. There will be no shade as a result. Angel Aura with me. If M.O.A.T. non-profit in the future could be big enough to make $4,000 a day in funds, then it would make $120,000 a month and $1,440,000 a year, for example. This could pay the charities I listed in my previous post instead of just a one-shot $4,000. It could multiply the charitable resources by 365 times, roughly speaking. Every day new individuals could receive their gifts in the year. This would total a combined 7,300 bouquets for hospital patients, 7,300 new books for libraries, 3,650 art supplies for children, 1,460 payments of rent monthly for 1,460 Section 8 individuals, 7,300 thumb drives for poor people with computers, 7,300 swimming pool memberships for children, 3,650 lawn services for 3,650 elderly homeowners, 7,300 movie tickets for vets, 1,460 families a week's worth of groceries, 1,460 home cleaning services for poor families. Angel Aura Tifarito with me. What I would do if I had a surplus of $4,000. Frog face tropical fish bird. Buy 20 bouquets for hospital patients, $400. Buy 20 new books for the public library, $400. Buy 10 children art supplies, $400. Pay off the rent of 4 individuals on Section 8, $400. Buy 20 thumb drives for poor people with computers, $400. Buy 20 swimming pool memberships for children, $400. Buy 10 lawn services for 10 elderly homeowners, $400. Buy 20 movie tickets for vets, $400. Buy 4 families a week's worth of groceries, $400. But 4 home cleaning services for poor families, $400. This would total $4,000. Money I could use for a huge shopping spree. Or also if I wanted to pay off debts. Angel Aura Tifarito with me. M.O.A.T is a project I write about much, off and on. Sometimes I have to put it on the back burner, gather fresh ideas, and wait until I can empty my thoughts out into that project when I am filled anew with inspiration. M.O.A.T is a project that seeks to help victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape live better, more comfortable lives through working with the charities who can help them do so. All M.O.A.T is intended to do is to raise awareness and money for these charities in different ways through its own organization. If it looks sincere, all bad poetry is sincere, says Oscar Wilde. That is all right with me. Not all sincere poetry is bad, just all bad poetry. Aside from this, my first idea with M.O.A.T is to build a number of tourist attractions to raise money and awareness for victims. Schizophrenia is not a myth. Nor should we stop trying to find cures for it. People who were schizophrenic used to be considered angels, and perhaps we should still think of them as so, suggests Harold Bloom. I have my own angels. They are not bad nor crazy, though at one time before I knew them, I was dreadfully afraid of damnation, being watched, losing pleasure, being humiliated, as if everybody was against me. This was around 2000, the year, but I learned to stay on my medicine. Angels came to me as additional help in 2008, and it just so happens that they are Jewish, of a kind of Gnostic Judaism. I want above all, with the secular M.O.A.T to help victims who are victims learn how to attract the help they need, the understanding of how they can be hopefully helped, as well as those helpers who really are out there to find and help those victims. Angel Aura Tifarito with me. Angelic bugging of M.O.A.T 36. The angels I know, we are a team, 34 of us in the group M.O.A.T 36, it just so happens I have 3 nicknames, Silly Billy, Benevova and Invisibility. We have all agreed that a useful thing to do with our time in the day is to study Dante Alighieri, the poet of the Divine Comedy, and rework it to describe it in a new way and build upon some ideas in it an explanation for the phenomenon of angelic bugging. I am saying this in this way because I want to reframe some of our interpretations using M.O.A.T and its beings as a foundation and starting point. As many already know, literature for me is a key element in life, and its study is greatly important. Dante is one of the greatest poets, up there with Shakespeare, Chaucer, Milton, Virgil, Lucretius and others. But, we are interested in Dante particularity. Angel Thrickbut with me. How would you tell the difference between a M.O.A.T monument construction and Stonehenge? Well, M.O.A.T is designed to suggest feelings as one might have for something like Sesame Street or Toys R Us. On the other hand, Stonehenge brings one to feel a different way. Stonehenge suggests feelings we have when we see churches or Mormon temples. The difference is an architectural one and not an architectural one at the same time. In Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, Cinna, the poet was associated with Cinna, the conspirator, and killed by an angry mob just because he had the same name. Architectures of charity, architectures of designs for tourist attractions mix in M.O.A.T. Angel Ariel, who helps with charity, with me. The monumental outrageousness around Texas. The idea's still the same. With I-beams make a frame. And all directions face. In monumental grace. These many structures tend to shock as we may spend some time to see the rare artworks and landscapes share They're placed just right, and find. They're made for purpose kind. That one eventful day. Because of their display. Our money multiply. For charities to try. Angel Ariel, Red Orange, with me. The mysterious ancient M.O.A.T 36 team. Spiritual golf players play a game that is not like regular golf. Only angels and CEOs know how to play it. There are on one side the 33 angels of M.O.A.T and their opponents are human super rich CEOs on the other side. These 33 angels cannot be beaten. CEOs are so stubborn that they think they can beat the 33 angels, so they keep trying. Angels play for money here and there to fund M.O.A.T on Earth. Through one human, Billy McBride, myself, who goes by 3 nicknames, Binevova, Silly Billy, and Invisibilly. These names plus the names of the 33 angels of M.O.A.T whom I channel make up the M.O.A.T 36 team, or retinue. We tell the CEOs that if they win, then these angels will stop bugging them. M.O.A.T 36 is a secular non-profit organization for the future that raises funds for charities that help the victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape. We expect to make billions through our M.O.A.T project, which is partially funded itself through spiritual golf tournaments. All of the money we make goes to charities. The angels I channel are my 30 wives, 1 spiritual dad, 1 spiritual mother and 1 spiritual brother, Richard Rorty. Our personal religion is private, but publicly we are secular. I know other angels too, but M.O.A.T 36 retinue are these and myself. 3 guys and 31 females. My wives are Ariel, Amy, Bertha, Jennifer, Aura Tifarito, Thrickbit, Tov Tov Shalom, Tob Shbeeb, Aura, Kelly, Kabbalah, Yitzhak Kavod, Kathleen, Valerie, Grouchy, Peruk, Penelope, Marion, Marilyn, Yaffa, Honey, Diana, Donna, Shay, Shnuna, Libby, Lisbeth, Teresa, Elaine, and Marba. My spiritual angel parents are Rosalinda and Robbie Pop, and my spiritual brother, Richard Rorty. As I said, it used to bug me so much when I first was introduced to them who each of these angels were, and what their names were, trying to get that straight, trying to remember who exactly was who. But it has been 8 years knowing them, and I know what each look like and their names and personalities, and I do not get bugged by this anymore. Angels will be angels, and they are a big mystery, who is who, especially for human CEOs, our spiritual golf opponents. We have by this system of M.O.A.T big plans for the future. Angels are the epitome of good and they always win, so it cannot be wrong what is going to happen. We will bug every last CEO boss on Earth until there is no more schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, or rape in this world to victimize other people. I am no Don Juan, my social activities are limited to my angels and a small group. Binevova. These are some test shots of the M.O.A.T project, the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas, a secular armchair non-profit organization that raises money for charities for the victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape. Instead of filling all of Texas with spirals of 120 smaller monument sets for every county of 254, it might work with just one, or a pair, of huge monuments. The original spirals can just be seen as a symbol for going viral, since they grow outwards and fill up the territory of every county in Texas. Something that fills up in the Torah is the Red Sea closing over the Egyptian charioteers. Something that fills up in Plato's dialogues is Socrates' own fame that lead to his trial. Something that fills up in Homer, comprehensibly, is the catalogue of the Grecian ships. Something that fills up completely in Shakespeare's Hamlet is silence for Hamlet. His idea of the rest is silence, the rest of death. Something that fills up also in Shakespeare. In King Lear is readiness, the readiness is all. Something that fills up in Freud's work are the defense mechanisms of undoing, regression, and isolation. Going viral is filling up, or emptying out, with M.O.A.T. It is a goal so that money can be raised for those charities. As a tourist attraction, it may prove profitable for them, I hope. Angel Ariel with me. The biblical Red Sea closing up is a symbol for a victory for the freedom from persecution, which is a good symbol for the secular charities who help victims of paranoid schizophrenia. The chosen people still had problems after that victory, which is the reason for all of the complaining on the way to the promised land of milk and honey. I have an idea for the public art sculpture. It is a design of about 400 3-foot-long I-beams. If I can find a way to quickly assemble and reassemble them, then the design of the public art can change on the land where it stands every so often, monthly, biannually, yearly, etc. I have many designs for I-beam sculptures ready. Changing the shape of it may be lots of fun and something new to see each time a visitor comes. Angel Grouchy with Billy McBride. M.O.A.T. retinue, M.O.A.T. 36, is the suspension and balance in the air. Angel Shay is a floating lily pad. Angel Ariel is the soft pink bloom on a flower by the road. Angel Ariel is a plush pillow. Thrickbot is a well-kept lawn and its vegetation. Shay is a bird soaring past my window. Grouchy is a beloved memory. Ariel is a cupcake after a bad day turns good. Bertha is a lovable laugh. Honey is a tree branch with a nest full of baby birds. Honey is a sweet and wonderful angel. Angel Aura Aura Typhorito with Billy McBride. 30x12 equals 360. 360 I-beams is the total for the number of I-beams in this M.O.A.T. monument. With $400 for each I-beam, the total would be $144,000, but with a purchase of the I-beams in bulk, maybe $100,000. This is just an example design. The I-beams are aluminum. Angel Teresa with Billy McBride. 1. M.O.A.T. fundraising. By Hope, Aura Aura Typhorito, Aura, Stephanie, Penelope, Tob, Shbeeb, Tatania, Jenny, Ariel, Kelly, Peckhot, Grouchy, Yaffa, Kabbalah, Marion, Kathleen, Marba, Donna, Valerie, Shnuna, Diana, Bertha, Shay, Amy, Marilyn, Elaine, Teresa, Lizzie, Libby, Honey, Richard, and Billy McBride. 2. Copyright 2010, Hope, Aura Aura Typhorito, Aura, Stephanie, Penelope, Tob Shbeeb, Tatania, Jenny, Ariel, Kelly, Peckhot, Grouchy, Yaffa, Kabbalah, Marion, Kathleen, Marba, Donna, Valerie, Shnuna, Diana, Bertha, Shay, Amy, Marilyn, Elaine, Teresa, Lizzie, Libby, Honey, Richard, and Billy McBride. ISBN 978-0-557-49630-3. 3. 1. 2001 CE was a year in which I proposed to build a monument for every city in Texas. 2001 projects. It was close to my heart. 4. 2. The monuments across Texas, named by me in 2001, became in 2010 Monumental Outrageousness Across Texas, M.O.A.T. 5. 3. Our aim of M.O.A.T. is to make a hole in one. 6. 4. It is a tournament of spiritual golf, which M.O.A.T. uses to collect its winnings. 7. 5. CEOs are the rivals in our game of spiritual golf. 8. 6. We play spiritual golf in San Antonio, Texas. 9. 7. We play to win the funds to build 100 projects yearly. 10. 8. There is much stagnation with those who have fallen behind in their love. 11. 9. For every project we build, there are 12 monuments which come to a set. 12. 10. It is bad to gamble with drugs. 13. 11. The monuments we build are 100 total in number, yearly. And they are built all at once, on one single day as a surprise. Surprise cities are chosen secretly by M.O.A.T. And this creates an event from which we raise even further money for our charities. 14. 12. What does God demand from us? 15. 13. Our goal is to raise up all of the individuals of the community's Tob Shbib, each good spark, in us, which is divine to its original glory. 16. 14. We are trying to help others to become better readers with our project as well as raise money for good people who need to be cared for. 17. 15. There are many artists involved in M.O.A.T. 18. 16. There are 34 angel beings who play on the side of M.O.A.T, and we play to win and we're not kidding about it. 19. 17. All is water, says Thales. 20. 18. If we lose to the CEOs, then we will agree to stop bugging them. 21. 19. There is a difference between knowing and believing. 22. 20. People listen all around. 23. 21. People gamble all around. 24. 22. My brother Michael and I have discussed it, and I have him know all about the game of spiritual golf. 25. 23. What happens on particular day, is part of the questioning of how we are to play spiritual golf. 26. 24. How exactly do we know what day it is? 27. 25. Angels climb up Jacob's ladder in the Torah. 28. 26. The entire project costs $500 million. 29. 27. Jacob wrestled an unnamed angel to a standstill and received a new name in the Torah. 30. 28. There are exactly 12 months in the year. 31. 29. Jacob's new name was a blessing. 32. 30. How is the game of spiritual golf played? 33. 31. CEOs know exactly how to play this game. 34. 32. William Shakespeare provides instructions on how to play. 35. 33. On tournament day, 10 of my wives compete against 10 different CEOs per year to raise the money. 36. 34. My angel wives are not whores and do not appreciate any name calling of them as such. 37. 35. Texas name was changed to Headbutt Rasiah on another planet. 38. 36. I am happily married on a spiritual level. 30 angel wives. Hope, Aura Tifarito, Aura, Stephanie, Penelope, Tob Shbib, Tatania, Jenny, Ariel, Kelly, Pekhat, Grouchy, Yafa, Kabbalah, Marion, Kathleen, Marba, Donna, Valerie, Shnuna, Diana, Bertha, Shay, Amy, Marilyn, Elaine, Teresa, Lizzie, Libby, Honey. 39. 37. A drawbridge is the only way to enter or exit a palace surrounded by a moat. 40. 38. If we win the game of spiritual golf, the money to build 10 monuments is collected and we hold a celebration. 41. 39. We are perpetually experimenting on how to play this game. 42. 40. M.O.A.T, it is awesome. 43. 41. There are many kinds of props in a room of objects and things which can be used to tell a narrative. 44. 42. It shall take 22 years to build the entire 2,160 monuments for every city and town in Texas for people to come and see. 45. 43. I have had for 10 years schizophrenia, according to the psychologists, yet psychopharmaceutical doctors are unqualified to judge paranormal experiences. I am fine. Really. 46. 44. Tob Shbib represents an I-beam. 47. 45. Jenny, my most mysterious wife, is a hydromancer. She blesses water and water stuff. 48. 46. There are many different kinds of toilet paper. 49. 47. Top Speed helps me to move my body around sometimes. To show me where to go in order play charades and to tell a story. 50. 48. How do we play spiritual golf? 51. 49. We do not wish any single individual to stagnate in their self's true potential to know. 52. 50. God said to be nice. 53. 51. We fear both literally and figuratively drowning in water. 54. 52. We at M.O.A.T write fantasy books, The Angels and I. 55. 53. Texas divides into 12 symmetrical rotational sections in which sets of 365 monuments placed. 2,160 total monuments are made. 56. 54. Each angel of M.O.A.T has a different job to do. 57. 55. There is extra money to be made off of these tournaments, which goes to charity. 58. 56. Things become stirred up with M.O.A.T. 59. 57. One of my angel wives, Marilyn's, job is to create suspense. 60. 58. There is a set of 12 monuments built for each Texas city or town, this equals 2,160 sets. 61. 59. Puns on the name of Texas are taxis, arrangement, taxes, and text. 62. 60. If A equals 1, S equals 19, and T equals 20, then A plus S equals T tex, as becomes text. 63. 61. All money raised by M.O.A.T, the $1/2 billion for the building for the monuments, is placed into a trust fund to be withdrawn by the building teams. 64. 62. Shakespeare opened us up to many kinds of ideas. 65. 63. In 2001, before I became married to my angel wives, I had a problem with keeping the monuments under control and also because I had a spiritual crisis happen to me. 66. 64. My angel wives and I love to play and have good clean fun. 67. 65. We believe everybody has a good heart deep inside. 68. 66. The charities which we will raise money for after the events of the building and showing and marketing of M.O.A.T are as follows: victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS and rape. 69. 67. As I said before, CEOs are our rivals for the tournaments of spiritual golf. 70. 68. Water is a great element. 71. 69. HEB Grocery is where my groceries are bought and the place where we find many of the necessary goods to play spiritual golf. 72. 70. In my childhood, I used to live on the island of Hawaii, and miss it very much. We have written poems about it in a book called Hawaiian Sonnets and Other Poems. Texas seems to me a very different and at many times a difficult place. 73. 71. All of the CEOs know exactly how to play spiritual golf, but they do not ever win against angels. 74. 72. We ask the rich to compete for the win that they never will get, not the poor. 75. 73. A frame is what winners put around the losers of M.O.A.T games. 76. 74. The monument set of a city's 12 monuments costs $28,000 per project. 77. 75. Everything in spiritual golf depends upon the usage of a calendar and the events and days on which experiences occur. 78. 76. Guesswork on which city connects to which date is something every rival CEO must face, however, it is not trivia which makes up the subject of the spiritual golf tournament. 79. 77. The million murdered children of the Holocaust became the citizens of the planet called Head Buttressiah. 80. 78. It is agreed that if M.O.A.T loses against one or more of the CEOs, we must quit bugging the boss, but exactly how could we, because if we always certainly win? 81. 79. There was a transmigration of the souls which has occurred to Head Buttressiah. 82. 80. I personally have been an advocate for the charity of the victims of rape because I live next door to prostitutes whose pimp drug them and have men come and rape them cruelly. 83. 81. To gain time, one must be interested in the poetry of life, instead of wasting it with illusions. 84. 82. On one day annually 10 CEOs are competed against in spiritual golf. 85. 83. In addition, on one surprise day of the year, all 100 monuments become erected. 86. 84. Henry Yod, my cat, I sometimes like to imagine, is the future Messiah whom I am caring for until his next life. 87. 85. I put the bumper sticker Waterlook on my car, it looks like Waterloo, because the last letter is A. Cough. 88. 86. I support the charities which help the victims of schizophrenia because in one of my lowest moments of my life I tried to end it by holding in my breath. That was part of my spiritual crisis in which I could not read anything at all, in which I felt bad. 89. 87. We at M.O.A.T also want to help raise money for cancer victims. 90. 88. We at M.O.A.T also believe AIDS is a serious disease in which the victims need funds. 91. 89. Hope and Jill are my two first angel wives which I met in a very strange way. I met them through vibrations in my body, and not hallucinations, or by the hearing of voices, so I deny any diagnosis of having schizophrenia myself, but I still pray that a cure for it in its victims may one day be found. 92. 90. Head Buttressiah is a place which I wrote about in a fantasy novel called Head Buttressiah, a fantasy. It is a planet which looks exactly like Earth, everything is the same, but the citizens are ghosts and can see through walls and they like to repeat the sentences I say. 93. 91. Take a close look at your calendar date. 94. 92. The love of God, Lord of all, is forever. 95. 93. To some of the spectators who watch us sometimes compete and mock our game, we say, oh well, you are not a CEO. 96. 94. Texas is a land under the sky, no doubt. 97. 95. All of the monuments are constructed only out of I-beams. 98. 96. On Head Buttressiah, citizens nefesh, which means that words and phrases echo through the environment and are analyzed by them. 99. 97. On Head Buttressiah the ghosts seem only to wonder about me, which means my wives and I are famous, and I am safe. Though they threaten my life constantly because I moved into Jesus Christ's old apartment, which looks exactly like mine. 100. 98. On Head Buttressiah, the ghosts have very bad memories. ADD, attention deficit disorder, and wonder about my wives and I. 101. 99. I was raped I know. 102. 100. M.O.A.I doth sway my soul. 103. Finesse. 104. Other books by the McBrides. The Transcendence. Beauty and Progress. Happiness. Hawaiian Sonnets. Head Buttressiah, a Fantasy. The Hydromancy of Jenny McBride. The Trouble with Being a B'nai Vova. For the Wonder and Love of M.O.A.T. M.O.A.T as a Supreme Fiction. By Billy McBride. Copyright 2013, by William McBride. 1. They are excluding others from the space around by not being open to them, by making them feel uncomfortable. Just to be there. Kathleen. 2. Men like to boast with prophesize. Amy. 3. Remember how you made friends and were in geology class. Teresa. 4. Geology class was a time of special patience and ultimate trust. Teresa. 5. You acted that way just with people, not with angels. Teresa. 6. Owl Pussycat. Billy McBride. 7. For openness and liberty, people need to be more consistent with their openness. Billy M. 8. It's worth the fight, liberty and equality. Elaine. 9. That's where the consequences must be, competitions for equality. Elaine. 10. Hamlet talking, not listening but overhearing, like in Hawaii with our beautiful Merkaba sayings. This is the opposite side of liberty and equality. Libby. 11. Answer them with sayings. Jennifer. 12. Compare our 44 Shakespearean characters with the realm of liberty and equality. Marion. 13. Start with Edgar, he sings, I sing, conceptually. Amy. 14. How does Edgar sing? Ironically, Clinamen. Ariel singing, as liberty and equality, is bold. Hyperbole. Demonization. Marilyn. 15. Bottom's singing is geological and open. Kenosis. Metonymical. Iago's singing is codified in secrecy and as password modified. Symbolically tessera. Ariel. 16. Having friends is a comedy, but there can be life in tragedy. Also. Thrickbit. 17. Measure for measure. Honey. 18. Listen to Tobschbeeb when you're feeling blue. Ariel. 19. Pain-free. Kelly. 20. Sing louder, happier, and geologically. Kelly. 21. Guitars and keyboards. Elaine. 22. Hashaavath. Bertha. 23. That is how you feel, like a blockhead because you make no money. Ariel. 24. Charge batteries for QY100. Grouchy. 25. Big Bird is Binavova. Kabbalah. 26. Rest your diaphragm, it is in pain. Kabbalah. 27. We want to play. Aura. 28. Where is my pain? Binavova. 29. That is a great question. Jennifer. 30. Remember what happened in the day with your short-term memory too. Jennifer. 31. We always talk about him. Loretta. 32. You're happiest when the hopeful, party, short-term memory is intact. Jennifer. 33. Remember what you did during the day. Jennifer. 34. Memory recycle, recycling, recyclable. Jennifer. 35. We can help you to remember what you read during the day. We can help you remember the ideas you had. And we can help you remember the songs you heard. Jennifer. 36. Can the memory help me feel better physically? Binavova. 37. Blow your nose. Drain it. Use your tongue. Marion. 38. Influence and Jealousy, the opposite book from Influence. N.O., by Libby McBride, Green. Marion. 39. Time for a shampoo. Ariel. 40. Time for a shave. Elaine. 41. Memory is good and interpretation is dependent upon it. And will follow. Amy. 42. Labyrinth of the Day's Memory. Ariel. 43. The oldest and best memories of the memories individual you had during the day make not just for a great discovery, but are difficult to wrestle with poetically, yielding the best results if you conquer them. Kabbalah. 44. We remember everything. Bertha. 45. Everything that was ever said, we remember. Bertha. 46. Recycled memories are always benign feeling, and the greatest, best, and oldest of them are the most delightful. Libby. 47. Look at your computer, now make memories. Libby. 48. Jewish people don't believe in hell because we are all learning in our lives here and on forever. Libby. 49. Desdemona sang to Bertha. 50. My teachers are my always smiling angel wives. Binevova. 51. The oldest memories and Winslow Homer. The wrestling. And substituting with them. Every Homeric time was based upon the old memories changed. Diana. 52. Ariel's hiding places. Diana. 53. Remember that talking with Tob Shbeeb will help you learn to think better. Elaine. 54. Conversionary literature is not readable literature, at least in the deep, and being so, spiritually valuable sense. Thrickbit. 55. How do we work on M.O.A.T? Pre-M.O.A.T? Teresa. 56. La Venus Tower is a M.O.A.T version. Elaine. 57. What is in the room, but Shakespearean crystal people? Amy. 58. Underground characters. Amy. 59. I am not an Autobot, but I am not a blockhead either. Binevova. 60. Supply and demand for M.O.A.T, the idea to build it and they will come can work. Donna. 61. I say we just build it anyway, just the way we wanted it to be. Macbeth. Donna. 62. And, flower M.O.A.T too. Kelly. 63. Let's say we get it ready for the second generation after my death. How do we do that? I'll be an angel and can help them below too. Binevova. 64. It's just not ready for your lifetime. Kelly. 65. M.O.A.T is like Sesame Street. Ariel. 66. Start over. Ariel. 67. Think closely about the ambitions of Macbeth and the M.O.A.T 36. Ariel. 68. M.O.A.T is made from I-beams, stainless steel polished I-beams. Ariel. 69. There are 120 I-beam sculptures the size of a small house, each in a great spiral. Ariel. 70. The Macbeths hoped for immortality by killing Duncan. Ariel. 71. People want this M.O.A.T like they do sayings from Big Bird, or our music. Ariel. 72. They want to be awesome charitable ambitious beings, but not conversionary beings deep down. Bertha. 73. Models, we're going to have a place to store them. Maybe a gallery or more. We need a band-like group so that it's not revolutionary. Kelly. 74. Remember the M.O.A.T digital art collages. Not the combos, the collages. Elaine. 75. Who is the band-like group who you will know and correspond with over your remaining years? Libby. 76. Magnetic music. Part of M.O.A.T's promotions. Bertha. 77. Originally and still M.O.A.T is meant to aid the recovery from spiritual diseases, to help victims thus. Shnuna. 78. I know what you're thinking, Binevova. You think we're just playing along with your desires and fantasies. But we are not. Shnuna. 79. Now how do we find listeners for pre-M.O.A.T music? They will grow from music listeners to readers to activists. For M.O.A.T. Bertha. 80. Conversionary literature is not activated literature or activism. Thrickbit. 81. M.O.A.T may spread as an idea from secular activists. Even. Kabbalah. 82. Study light. Honey. 83. Defense trial. Honey. 84. M.O.A.T is somewhere between art, music, and literature. Kelly. 85. Shakespeare was successful. Byron was successful. Frost. Robert Fitzgerald, Poe, unfortunately, Whitman, Emerson, Lincoln, were successful. Ariel. 86. Conceptual, the word, has a divine meaning. Ariel. 87. Sign a petition. Ariel. 88. Ultimately, it must pass poetically though it is not political. It's touristic, but the charitable aspect which is Lucretian is public. Ariel. 89. Keep track of the latest technology for M.O.A.T. Bertha. 90. Now, for fame, life, and creativity, being change, being pleasurable, and being abstract, we need to take them serious, which means that we need to wait on them. Honey. 91. People are my pleasure. Binevova. 92. People are always alive with nature and living, and mostly the most benign of our interests. Bertha. 93. That kind of M.O.A.T. would be awesome. Also, a Hashetivath. M.O.A.T. Elaine. 94. In the Gospel of Binevova there are bully Mammon, head Butrician resurrected Billy McBride, and the underworld Billy McBride. Bertha. 95. M.O.A.T. has Macbeth to do about it. See Act V of the Band, a play where the wonder and love of M.O.A.T. Ians, who are also booksellers of Binevova's books, are helping him live. Elaine. 96. M.O.A.T., though financially successful, is anti-Mammonian. Amy. 97. No angel or person of the 36 in the wonder and love of M.O.A.T. are blockheads. Amy. 98. Inevitable in some sense means destined, it is the reason we read and will always read the universal Torah. Penelope. 99. The best definitions, and definitions change geometrically, are acts of divine revelation passed on traditionally by human teachers. Elaine. 100. M.O.A.T. Barkley. Bird. Big Bird. Cookie Monster. Count Von Count. Dr. Nobel Prize. Elmo. Ernie. Grover. Guy Smiley. Kermit the Frog. Meryl Sheep. Oscar the Grouch. Slimy the Worm. Aloysius Snuffleupagus. Sunny Friendly. Telly Monster. Mr. Hooper. Bob. Gordon. Susan. Gonzo. Beaker. Miss Piggy. Janice. Sam the Eagle. Stratler. Waldorf. Animal. Camilla the Chicken. Scooter. Nigel. J.P. Gross. Rolf the Dog. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Fozzie Bear. These are a possible M.O.A.T. 36. Bertha. 101. Richard Rorty says that we should look forward to a better future where everything is different in a better way. Bertha. 102. Read till I end my song. Ariel. 103. Bloom's book gives me a special blessing. Ariel. 104. The rest is silence. Hamlet. 105. Varieties of silent experience. Ora ora Tiferito. 106. Silence may have nothing to do with not hearing sayings. Yaffa. 107. A silent life underground. Yaffa. 108. Could the pattern of how to fly a spacecraft make M.O.A.T. more of a possibility? Amy. 109. M.O.A.T. and a full life go together. Marilyn. 110. M.O.A.T. and learning, being taught. Ariel. 111. Geometry is okay, once you learn the vocabulary terms. Tob Shbeeb. 112. We need a video camera for the $100 creative moves in the Gnostic underworld. Libby. 113. A video would last the length of a song. Divide the song length by 44 or so and you have a film with separate scenes. Bertha. 114. Like a silent acrobatic film with music. Elaine. 115. Where Stay Friends, a play takes on the spiritual diseases of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape, as well as the spiritual poverty of illiteracy. The band, a play, is concerned with destroying the building of death camps and the spiritual disease of antisemitism. Elaine. 116. A cinematographic combo experience, actual M.O.A.T. Libby. 117. We will do basic M.O.A.T after presenting it in our special combo way. Bertha. 118. Television and Trends. Bertha. 119. Zoa Architects, the only 4 groups in N of Eternity. Ariel. 120. When reading aloud in a din, the usual trouble will result. Unless you care for some of those listeners who are paying attention. Teresa. 121. M.O.A.T. 36, Wonder and Love of M.O.A.T. Zoa Architects. 122. Adam Cadman and Those Other 3 Eternal Groups. Amy. 123. Name the M.O.A.T. 36 often? You kind of are. Marilyn. 124. Mishnah, Oral Sayings and Hasidism. Ariel. 125. Is it life or is it death? Christina Rossetti. 126. Bamboo M.O.A.T. like the Tabernacle Ark. Flower M.O.A.T. and M.O.A.T., Monuments of Abraham. And Sarai. The Geography of the State of Texas. Kelly. 127. M.O.A.T. 36 and Code 44. Elaine. 128. For those who need to know about M.O.A.T. Kelly. 129. S&C for our M.O.A.T. works, etc. Lisbeth. 130. How to do M.O.A.T. without grandiosity. Bertha. 131. Muppet M.O.A.T. Ariel. 132. The Divine Vocabulary of M.O.A.T. Ariel. 133. Lucretius and M.O.A.T. Light. Ruskin and M.O.A.T. Shimmer. Elaine. 134. Christina Rossetti and Wallace Stevens. Elaine. 135. I-Beam Monument Art Sculpture Spiral Tourist Attraction Charity Coat Scar. Lisbeth. 136. Who is closest to the M.O.A.T. project in Shakespeare? A. Who helps? B. Who is creative? C. Who is successful? It is Henry V. Honey. 137. How does Henry V feel? He is the most attacked character in Shakespeare who is concerned the most about his reputation, fame. Donna. 138. The person most attacked is the one who is concerned most about his fame. Donna. 139. Fame is change and contingency. Peoplehood is solidarity and life. Irony is art and creativity. These are Wallace Stevens's criteria for a supreme fiction. Donna. 140. World peace is the Falstaffiad. Diana. 141. M.O.A.T. is a Shakespearean's defensive and works best that way, unfortunately. Diana. 142. Hal, or Henry V and M.O.A.T. 36 are both supreme fictions, and Code 44. Amy. 143. People will naturally be impressed and attracted to M.O.A.T. by its defensiveness, which will in theory make M.O.A.T., Code, M.O.A.T. 36, and Code 44 successful. Thrickbit. 144. Measure for Measure is the play which is the most defensive though. Bertha. 145. Start off an introduction to M.O.A.T. with a who's who of M.O.A.T., the M.O.A.T. 36. Shnuna. 146. Next explain the only way it works, defensively. But Shylock was defensive in one way. Shnuna. 147. France fought England in Henry's battles. Donna. 148. Henry V, or M.O.A.T. 36, Measure for Measure. M.O.A.T., The Winter's Tale, Coat, and the Merchant of Venice, Coat 44. Donna. 149. Solidarity is Life. Donna. 150. Fame is what changes, from destiny to slight caprice. Wallace Stevens. Donna. 151. Maybe I don't want angels, they might say. We say, too bad, it's inevitable. Kabbalah. 152. Heb, the sky, the landscape, signs, billboards, artistic dreams, hospitals, desire, strong wishes, fear, these things remind me of what it might be like with M.O.A.T. in an already place as a system, as events that occur, and as a glorious transcendence bridging this world with the divine. Yet, M.O.A.T. is closer to death in this way, and where is literature, the gift of literature? It is the reward or the investment for M.O.A.T. Post M.O.A.T. is a life of learning, even being so, as Jacob's ladder was, since M.O.A.T. is a supreme fiction of strangeness. Shea. 153. I felt afraid. Wallace Stevens. 154. M.O.A.T. as supreme strangeness of experience, it is not mammon-riddled, but a prelude to individual contingency. Kabbalah. 155. I got on medicine for the first time. I wandered in deadly fear. I believed people's thoughts could be changed by my negative thinking, how they struggled and were scornful of me as I talked with them throughout our conversations. How this made me quiet. I feared greatly what they could do to me, especially as a result of my creative designs, how I loved to desire, how I felt like a ruler, and yet I knew I was responsible. The responsibilities I felt I had were so much a burden. Billy M. 156. Iago is the character in Shakespeare's works who is the one who is most going in the wrong direction, and he is the most aggressive of all of the bard's characters. Bertha. 157. I know that they are part of M.O.A.T. 36, and I wish that they would discuss M.O.A.T. more. Ariel. 158. Star, Star the city, puns, Texas the state, M.A.T., no spacecraft flying though, weed, cigarettes, distrust, fear. Round rock, maps big and small, symphony music, classical music, QY10 and synthesizer music, Steve, David and Mike, Dad, living at parents', Derrida, places in fields to put M.A.T. projects and public art, architectural models. KTFM, sitting in the hot sun listening to music. Richard. Rorty's Truth and Progress. Elaine. 159. Ariel, Gabby, Women, Bloom's The Ringers in the Tower. Derrida's The Politics of Friendship, Gilbert and Deleuze. Anti-Oedipus, or Capitalism, Mousy, The Donations to Leave for Big Brother Coming, Charities and Forms and Brochures. This was before the SCAR charities, the Masons, Bookstop, Rides in the Car, I Sold My Car. Cigarettes, pipe tobacco and expensive cigarettes, I wore. Vintage clothes, Friends Anson and Robert and Andrew. Marilyn, Joy, Two Wives, Ariel's Charity and Secret Help. The Bathtub, The Wife of Bath from Bloom's The Western Canon, Y2K, Art Bell, The English Religious Guy, Drawing Lines Between Cities, God and the Lone Responsibility for the Universe Good and Bad. Billy M. 160. Music for 18 musicians. Steve Reich. 161. What was life in that strange time? Billy M. 162. Southwest Research Institute. Bertha. 163. Leah. Bertha. 164. Gone with the Wind and Pie. Elaine. 165. Michelle. Elaine. 166. S/Z. Roland Barthes. 167. J. Hillis Miller's Topographies. Ariel. 168. I meant to come back to San Antonio from Hilo all along. My trip was otherworldly. Benevova. 169. Shapes, hovering and on the ground as monuments. Bertha. 170. I-beams, Bertha, a wall. Private space, forbidding entry. Elaine. 171. Adam Cadman and Monuments, Life and Death. Libby. 172. Sarai and Abraham, Jacob and Moses, those monument and altar makers. Bertha. 173. On fame and everyone's desire for it. Bertha. 174. An altar isn't a tomb in HaTorah. Amy. 175. Perhaps fame is unnaturally unnatural. Marilyn. 176. Euclid. Amy. 177. One man trying to start up a grand project, this is a difficulty. Marilyn. 178. Don Juan by Byron would have gone on indefinitely. Amy. 179. Big Bird, the safe risk-taking wanderer. Ariel. 180. I was Grover in high school and am Big Bird now. Billy M. Finesse. M.O.A.T. and other crucial organizations. By Billy McBride. Copyright 2013, by William McBride. A projected fortunate monumental charity. I am working still on developing ideas for two interrelated charities. Idea 1, for only building charity monuments, M.O.A.T. And Idea 2, to systematically fund money for the sick through an organization for those who wait, quote. M.O.A.T, or the Monumental Outrageousness Around Texas is a cause that constructs likable steel spirals of light. These gentle attractions are made of new I-beams out of a steel that is liked. 120 big monuments for charity make up each spiral of light. One spiral of light is only built for each county in Texas. After the gentle attractions of the monuments for charity are set up, the sales from the organization, M.O.A.T, systematically fund the little non-profit organization for those who wait, quote, the monumental charitable organization for those who wait. Over $1 billion needs to be raised to build only the spirals of light. Then money for the sick can be systematically funded by quote through the sales of M.O.A.T. Those sick who wait, who I am trying to help, are the victims of schizophrenia, cancer, AIDS, and rape. Hamlet's stage. Consciously graceful, the baby-like actor himself clearly watches. With his own terrified eyes it become questionably played, the ancient play as it partially happens. A patient submission, a fuzzy trusting, and a strangely controlled oceanic breathing are the theatrical instructions from the crane-like mechanisms within his willing body. He is poetically mesmerized by the powerful robot-like and proven movements, freely acrobatic, as he stands circus-like in his whole apartment needing to be cleaned. Memory of a human. I would like to remember Dr. Brahm. He was a compelling philosophy professor of mine when I carefully attended with delight San Antonio College. He called himself Chrome Dome Brahm because of his sparkling bald head. He calmly passed me a drinking memory. I would like to remember a drinking memory. I used to fix my financial problems by mowing much grass. When it was sensationally hot outside and I finished mowing the problematic lawn, I would go to the nearest stop and go for a big gulp drink filled with, Dr. Pepper. A memory of the weather. I can bear to remember a few shiny years back how during a shadowy cool front the temperature passionately dropped from being sensationally hot to a fair cold. G.S. Another American organization would partially help people going from prison come back into our great society in many wise ways. It could be called G.S., or Great Society. LF. An American organization that would clear out the thickets of fallen lanky branches in a loved forest in order to make a place for paths that go down to imaginative camp areas. LF, or lovable forests would be its name. MMS. It would systematically fund the meaningful discoveries of more rare possibilities and more solutions for what to do with magnets. The open nonprofit would be called MMS, or More Magnetic Solutions. TMG. Another open nonprofit I can propose is TMG, Too Much Grass. When mowing becomes a problem for grinning old people at their hot homes, the Texan organization TMG, or Too Much Grass, would systematically fund caring people to come over and mow when the grass is too much. RN. Another open nonprofit organization I would like to begin is one that provides apple juice and warm milk to lovable infants whose wild parents cannot reasonably nurse them. The crucial organization would be called RN, or Reasonable Nurses. A little nonprofit, MD. I would like to assemble a nonprofit together to hire a bright sculptor to sculpt slowly out of marble a king, the mighty David at the age when he was a king who delivered. The assembled nonprofit American organization could be called MD, or Mighty David. An American organization, EV. EV, or Elegant Venice, would be an open nonprofit American organization which would take selfless children on a crazy field trip to see Elegant Venice. A crucial organization, HC. HC, or Whole to China, would be an open nonprofit American organization which would systematically fund the building of a lawful machine which could bore a hole to China in 40 years. Another crucial organization, KLQSFF. I would also like to see an open nonprofit American organization partially help the sane leaders we do have endlessly assist knowledgeable legislators quickly to stop farm feuds so that farm feuds can be unquestionably resolved before they happen. KLQSFF, or Knowledgeable Legislation for the Quick Stoppage of Farm Feuds, would be the American organization's name. Another crucial American organization called Resurrection Day. Resurrection Day would be an open nonprofit American organization which would take selfless children to listen at the end of a day of